Hi, my name is Sean Tyner, and I'm going to be speaking about why experimental education is better than traditional education in today's classrooms. So, traditional education is failing students. Will Smith said it best: "The things that have been most valuable to me, I did not learn in school." Traditional education is based off facts and figures and passing tests, not on comprehension of the material and its application to life. Experimental education is the way Jesus taught his apostles. Jesus did them a lecture on what to do. He led by example and told them to follow him in his everyday life, to learn in his ways. In today's light, we as a society believe it's not responsible to teach through experiments, but have control every thought and action that happens in the classroom. This could come from a facilitator trying to ask a question and leading it to one way that she wants them to lead it to, or having a classroom be led just by multiple people that don't really give the students much to talk. So then, Herman created the learning curve that states, during a lecture, if your absorption rate is 100% on day one, there is a 50 to 80% loss of learning from the second day onward, which is reduced to a retention rate of just 2 to 3% at the end of 30 days. In experimental education, the retention rate is highly increased because it uses critical thinking, problem solving, and decision-making processes to accelerate learning. In outdoor leadership, we use a lot of experience education because you cannot learn by just teaching, but by hands-on learning. You could read and how to learn how to light a camp stove, but without learning with hands-on experience and seeing where it is enough lighter fluid to spark the wick, you'll have a hard time doing it. In a classical education, most classes and information taught is led by a facilitator, while experimental education of a facilitator is the overseer but does not take the role of God. The facilitator asks open-ended questions that make you relate to what's happening in real-life scenarios. A great example of this program is called Outward Bound. The creator Kurt Hahn, one of the founders of experiential learning, created a world-renowned college, Gordonstoun, where the royal family of England has attended. Gordonstoun teaches about different zones of comfort. The different zones of comfort are the comfort zone, the stretch zone, and the panic zone. The comfort zone is being in a classroom. You're in a safe learning environment, not learning much, but when you enter the stretch zone, you stretch mentally and physically and you learn through more on the emotional level. The panic zone is when you are feeling like you are in danger and you don't really learn at all. So the way that we use this in today's life is that we get pushed to a certain level that we are not really used to. So we're in that stretch zone, kind of like if you're trying to learn how to, let's say we're talking about math, and you try to teach somebody the different components of math, and then as soon as they see a letter in the alphabet and they're like a or x squared or something like that, that kind of like stretches them to try to learn because they're not really used to it at first, but then as soon as you get them introduced into it better, then it's easier for them to learn it. So then, experimental education consistently gets criticized for being in an uncontrolled environment without having experiences, observations, conceptualization, or experimentation. You do not grow and learn to your fullest ability if you do not have these certain components, because without experience and observation, you can't really understand what the facilitator is trying to teach, or having your other peers try to teach you. Conceptualization and experimentation is you experiment with the different questions that you ask, such as, why am I learning this? How does this relate to my life? And I think this is why experimental education is better than classical education, because it teaches you beyond what you think or what you try to know. You actually learn from experience. You learn from observations and just learning from your peers instead of just having one facilitator try to teach you. Thank you.